Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharyam Astotra Satat Sisima Divine Grace. His confounded charge, Srila A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Maharaj. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharyam Astotra Satat Sisima Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Prabhupada Maharaj. Anantakoti Vaishnavena Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Si Kahau Si Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Si Advaita Gadadhara Si Vasadi Si Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Si Radha Krishna Gopal Gopinath Syamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Sri Vrindavan Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Si Mayapana Dham Ki Jai. Si Jagannath-puri Dham Ki Jai. Si Ayodhya Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Maya Yamuna Maya Ki Jai. Srimati Tulsi Devi Bhakta Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vina Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Brahmananda. All glories to the summon devotees. All glories to the summon devotees. All glories to the summon devotees. All glories to Sister Gauranga Ranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyansa Tato Jaya Mudirayit Nasa Payesvabhadesu Nityam Bhagavata Seva Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavaiti Naistike. So welcome again to this segment of the morning program, Bhagavatam class. So, this is a continuation of chapter 20, Canto 4. Lord Vishnu's appearance in the sacrificial arena. Text 15. Evam Dvijagrihanu Matanu Vrita Dhamma Pradhano Yatamo Vistasya Rasvena Kalena Grihopayata Drastasi Siddhan Anuraktalauka Evam Dvijagriyanu Matanam Vrita Dharma Pradhano Yatamo Vitasya Rasvena Kalena Grihopayantam Dastasi Siddhan Anurakta Loka Evam Dvijagrihanu Matanu Vrita Dharma Pradano Yatamo Vittasya Asvena Kalina Griho Payantam Drasta Sisidhan Anurakta Loka. Can someone try? Yeah. Yes. Ladies? Any more ladies? Any more ladies so that you can be the man? Thank you. So word for word translation and then the translation. And purport by His Divine Grace. ISKCON founder Acharya, Srila Bhakti Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thank you. At least for Prabhupada, we should say Jai. Evam thus Dvija of the Brahmanas Agriha by the foremost Anumata approved Anuvrita received by disciplic succession Dharma religious principles Pradhanaha he whose chief interest is Anyatamaha unattached Avita the protector, Asyaha, of the earth, Raswena, short, Kalena, in time, Griha, to your home, Upayatan, having come personally, Drastasi, you will see, Siddhan, perfected personalities, Anurakta Lokaha, being loved by the citizens. Being loved by the citizens. These texts, they are interesting to me because they relate to my field of management and leadership, and I can relate to the situations, you know. Translation. Lord Vishnu continued, my dear King Prithu, if you continue to protect the citizens according to the instructions of the learned Brahmana authorities, as they are received by the disciplic succession, by hearing from master to disciple, and if you follow the religious principles laid down by them, without attachment to ideas manufactured by mental concoction, and then every one of your citizens will be happy and will love you. And very soon you will be able to see such already liberated personalities as the four Kumaras, Sanataka, Sanatana, Sanandana, and Sanat Kumara. Please kindly responsibly repeat. Lord Vishnu continued, my dear King Prithu, if you continue to protect the citizens according to the instructions of the learned Brahmana authorities, as they are received by the disciplic succession, by hearing from master to disciple, and if you follow the religious principles laid down by them, without attachment to ideas manufactured by mental concoction, then every one of your citizens will be happy and will love you. And very soon, you will be able to see such already liberated personalities as the four Kumaras, Sanaka, Sanatana, Sanadana, and Sanat Kumara. So listen to it. Let's listen with rapt attention to Srila Prabhupada's purport. Lord Vishnu advised King Prithu that everyone should follow Our Lord Vishnu advised King Prithu that everyone should follow the principles of Varnashram Dharma. Then, in whatever capacity one remains within this material world, his salvation is guaranteed after death. In this age, however, since the system of Varnashram Dharma is topsy-turvy, it is very difficult to strictly follow all the principles. The only method for becoming perfect in life, is to develop Krishna consciousness. As Varnashram Dharma is executed from different positions by different men, so the Krishna conscious principles can be followed by everyone in every part of the world. There is a specific purpose in mentioning herein that one should follow the Dvija Grihas, the most prominent Brahmanas like Parasara and Manu. These great sages have already given us instructions on how to live according to the principles of Varnashram Dharma. Similarly, Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami have given us rules and regulations for becoming pure devotees of the Lord. It is essential, therefore, to follow the instructions of the Acharyas in the Parampara system, who have received the knowledge as passed down from the spiritual master to disciple. In this way, although living in our material condition of life, we can get out of the entanglement of material contamination without leaving our positions. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advises, therefore, that one perfect source, this is called, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advises, therefore, that one does not have to change his position. One simply has to hear from the perfect source. This is called parampara, and follow the principles for practical application in life. Thus, one can attain the highest perfection of life, liberation, and go back home, back to Godhead. In other words, the change required is a change in consciousness. Change required is a change in consciousness, not in the body. Unfortunately, in this fallen age, people are concerned with the body, not with the soul. They have invented so many isms pertaining to the body only, not to the soul. In the modern age of democracy, there are so many government representatives voting for legislation. Every day they bring out a new law. But because these laws are only mental concoctions manufactured by inexperienced, conditioned souls, they cannot give relief to human society. Formerly, although the kings were autocrats, they strictly followed the principles laid down by great sages and saintly persons. There were no mistakes in ruling over the country, and everything went perfectly well. The citizens were completely pious. The king levied taxes legitimately, and therefore the situation was very happy. At the present moment, the so-called executive heads are more or less selected from materially ambitious persons who simply look after their own personal interests. They have no knowledge of these shastras. In other words, the executive heads are fools and rascals in the strict sense of the terms, and the people in general are Sudras. This combination of fools and rascals and Sudras cannot bring about peace and prosperity in the world, in this world. Therefore, we find periodic upheavals in society in the forms of battles, communal riots, and fratricidal quarrels. Under these circumstances, not only are the leaders unable to lead and the people to lead the people toward liberation, but they cannot even give them peace of mind. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that everyone who lives on concocted ideas without reference to disasters never becomes successful and does not attain happiness or liberation after death. Who knows that verse in the Bhagavad Gita? Pandits tell us. Prabhupada makes a reference to the verse in the Bhagavad Gita. Translation?
Yeah, one does not listen to the injunctions of the Vedic scriptures, but lives by his own whims, does not attain happiness, nor perfection of life, nor
Whims. Whims. Whimsy. Material world people are so whimsy. Krishna is a perfect teacher, you know. He doesn't teach something abstract. It's something you can relate with. It's the perfection of teaching. Homa Yajna Gina Jana Salaka Saksula Maritam Yena Tisman Si Gorave Namaha Sajeta Mano Vistam Stafitam Gina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadati Swa Padantika Vancha Kalpatari Vicha Chipasambhya Vicha Patitanam Pavna Vaishnavim Namo Namaha Vande Sri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodata Godadhai Puspavanto Chita Chandu Tamandu Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pishtai Bhutale Smati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Itinam Namaste Saraswati Deve Goro Bhani Pachalina Nirvisisa Sunyabhadi Pasutta Visadora Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadara Sivasadi Goro Bhakti Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. So when people come to Krishna consciousness in the beginning, they come to attend classes, sometimes they get worried that, why are these people wasting so much time? Just go to the topic and talk. All these, so many mantras and prayers you have to make before you start the main subject. This is wasting our time. But no, we're not wasting time. Because the whole idea about the meditation and prayers before the Bhagavatam class, or even before Bhagavad Gita, is to invoke the mercy of the Lord. The Lord to be the driving force, the impetus for the speaker and the listeners. The Lord to be the witness, the Lord to give the guidance, the external guide and the internal guide. You may say, but the Lord is already doing this. Why are you guys wasting so much time? Just go to the stuff and tell us something. Even the Lord is already doing this, still we need to acknowledge that we don't have the power to do anything. And we can only be used as instrument by the Lord. So this is the essence of making prayers. A real deliverer of the Bhagavatam depends on the mercy of Krishna to be used by Krishna, to be able to say something that will help the audience. It's not a matter of erudition. You cite so many verses and just to show that. No, it is not like that. So this idea of this text is just, it corroborates with the other previous text. It's still on governance, how people, leaders of society, should rule, should govern their constituencies. Prabhupada talks in the purport that, we have the three arms of government. We have the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. And Prabhupada talks about the legislature also in the purport. Now, legislature, they are concerned with making laws. They formulate policies, they make laws. Like in America, we have the Congress. The U.S. Congress constitutes of the lower house, House of Representatives, and the Senate. So they make laws. So Prabhupada is pretty heavy in the purport. It's condemning that, it's a bunch of a bunch of sudras being driven by rascals, being guided by rascals. And so the very last paragraph is pretty interesting because people work so hard in this world, but they don't seem to be happy. They end up being miserable, they end up being in jail, they end up killing themselves. There's so many cases of suicides. And it's not just the common person on the street. It's not the person who is lacking food to eat. The people who have surplus. It means they have having surplus alone does not make someone really happy. So what is missing there? Following the laid down instructions of the high profile Brahmanas. In this text is Dvija Grihas. So the high profile Brahmanas, people like Siddhanta, Rupa Goswami, or the four Kumaras. How are they so highly placed that we have to follow their instructions? Because they realize the truth. Krishna comes to them. They could go to the four Kumaras, they went to Vaikuntha to visit the Lord. Have any of you been to Vaikuntha? Oh yeah. You're talking about Vaikuntha. Maybe some people have not even left Germany. In America, I've seen people who never left their home state. The state they are born. America has 50 states. The state they are born, they never left that state till they die. They just like octet electrons. They don't need to interact with other people. But whether you're an octet electron or not, people are still committing suicide. What is lacking? Well, that is what Prabhupada is pointing out in the purport. People not following the Sastic injunctions, not following the instructions of the sages, not following the orders of the Supreme Lord. No matter what we do, whether you are a manager or you are a citizen, a follower, if we don't follow the instructions of the authorities, we can't be happy. I remember when my Guru Maharaj instructed me to go to preach to professors. And I was just thinking, what the hell am I going to do from all this stuff? Huh? I don't have the skills to deal with that. And but then, he understood, my skepticism. And I remember he told me, He told me one day, I know the instruction I give to you is difficult, but this is what I want you to do. And if you don't do it, you will not be happy. To me, it's like a curse, you know? Yeah. So, if we don't follow the Sastric injunction, if we don't execute our duties in the Varnashram Dham, it's difficult to be happy. Because this is the setting of the material world. We have duties to execute in different ashrams, different varnas. And if that is not forthcoming, it's negligence of duty. If like you're employed and you don't do your job according to your job descriptions, before you got hired, the company should advertise the job descriptions. When you got employed, they showed you also the pamphlet describing your job description. So if you don't do your job, you could be fired. And when you're fired, then you complain. You complain about the management, or the director did this to me, this is very bad. I'm going to have to appeal against this decision. But then, from your heart of hearts, you know you really do your job. That's our position, We complain, but we know we don't follow the Sastra. We do our own things. We do it, karma karata, whimsically. We are whimsical. Whimsy, the whimsical means not having the zeal to follow instructions of the Sastra. Prabhupada uses this word a lot. Rascals, whimsical. So, the difference between the devotee and the non-devotee, or the devotee tries by all possible avenues to align with scriptural injunctions. That guarantees a happy life in the next life. And a happy life in this very life. If someone is not following, you could be so rich, and then the next day you have this disaster or that disaster. You don't be happy. There are so many rich people who are not happy. But then don't say that, Bhakti Vasudev Swami said, so many people are not happy, so I'm also not, I don't have to work hard to be rich. I just have to be poor. I remember one Guru Kuli in Vrindavan. He was not doing so well. So the teacher, what's his name? Proper disciple, forgotten his name. He told him that you have to buckle up. Your marks are going low. His defense was that, small boy, Guru Kuli. His defense was that I don't want to be proud. If I excel, I'll be proud. So, so it doesn't make any sense. And so it's so easy to use Krishna consciousness to rationalize our lackadaisical approach to duty, uninterested approach to duty. That we don't want to work hard. Always say, or sometimes, people, devotees, they criticize other devotees. Oh, you're just over ambitious. This is over endeavor. But then the devotee has to work so hard. I remember when we joined, walking on the altar, you have to go and sing after finishing from the pujaris or service from 4 o'clock till about 7:30. Because even flowers, you have to go and pick the flowers. Pujari has to go and pick the flowers to come and prepare arti and everything. In other words, from 4 o'clock, there is no time. And then after you take prasadam, you are going out of Sankirtan. And then come back 5 o'clock. And so, if you survive, you can be a hero anywhere in the world. But that is about duty. Execution of duty. Now, Prabhupada mentions also that when, in fact, even in the main text, when the the leader or the king protects the citizens, the dependents. See, it's a heavy responsibility being a leader, you know. It's not only just to get the praise, it's not only just to get the Mahaprasad, but it's a big responsibility. You have to protect all of your citizens. Oh, yeah. And that is why if the citizens become liberated, then the king or the leader also benefits from that. He gets 1/6. We read yesterday. He gets 1/6 of each person, their pious merit, the results of their pious merit. However, if the king or the leader, say the temple president, does not protect the devotees, and people are going to have all types of sinful activities, he gets 1/6 of the reaction of each and every sinful activity that is performed. He gets 1/6 of the reaction. Is it very juicy to be a president? What about parents? This same application. Same thing. So, it is important that we know how dicey the material world is. And it's only human beings that we have to be confronted with so many rules. You know, the lower species, they don't have rules and regulations. You don't have to face all of these rigors of accountability and responsibility. But as human beings, we are, whether we know or not, we are accountable. And we'll be judged by Maharaj accordingly. And that makes it very complex. And so the position of a citizen or a member of the community and the community leader, the relationship should be so sweet that the members of the community, they are happy. If they're happy, it means that they're feeling that type of connection with the Supreme through the agency of the saintly leader. So what about when the leader himself is sinful? I mean, like what happens in most parts of the world. Huh? And the question of protection of citizens, who cares? They don't care about anything. So, and the reason is that people don't understand the responsibilities of leadership. Yeah. People struggle, they fight to be voted into power. They make all type of maneuvers to be appointed into some position of power. And power corrupts. Power is a behavior modifier. If someone does not have power, they could be very nice devotees. Very nice. As soon as they get some power, their behaviors become modified. I've studied all this stuff for over 20 years. I've seen people in government, in religious institutions, and all this stuff, how power corrupts. And therefore, if someone is not self-restrained, if someone is not Krishna conscious, it's so easy to be dragged down by the illusory energy. And therefore, the very concept of protecting citizens, or protecting members of the community, or protecting members of your constituency does not come up at all. Or even parents protecting their children. In fact, the heaviest responsibility of parents, can you imagine? You are responsible for the extrication of your mates, of your dependents, of your children, from the charcoals of birth and death. And not just to enjoy sex. It's a heavy responsibility. It's there in the Bhagavatam. The Bhagavatam says, if you're not in position to do this, don't ever try to be a parent. So human life is tough. I mean, how many people know about this? It's just a handful of people. Not even up to 1% of the 8.6 billion people on this planet know this. So, where is the equation of happiness on this planet? Why wouldn't there be wars? Because there is so much of Vana Sankara, unwanted population, resulting from sense gratification. And so, the king or the rulers of society, they bear some of the consequences of the members of their constituency's sinful involvement. That makes leadership really delicate. That makes household life really delicate. And that makes a spiritual master status very delicate. You know why? Some of this, even the high-profile spiritual masters, they go down the drain. This is a factor. So, I love my guru. Don't commit sinful activities. I love my parents. Don't commit sinful activities because your father takes 1/6 of the reactions. Unfortunately, this is the harsh truth. It's there in the scriptures. We take from the scriptures. We don't whitewash philosophy. We speak based on what is there. And therefore, it's the responsibility of everyone to take to Krishna consciousness seriously and to read the books so that we have that zeal to protect our dependents, to give them support, to give them emotional support so that they have a sense of belonging, so that they can be focused on the path of bhakti. Because if someone is not focused on the path of bhakti, forget it. Forget it. There's no way that anybody is going to be able to follow all of these regulatory systems. That's why we find majority of people are driven by the whims. Just do whatever. And this is what the celebrities are advocating. Do whatever your whims dictate to you. That is life. So how do we get protection from the Lord? By following the instructions of the Lord. Simple. We're taking on some responsibility. We have to know that we are accountable. We are becoming parents. We have to know we are accountable. We are becoming temple president. We have to know we are accountable. We want to become the prime minister of, what is it called? The chancellor of Germany. We should know we are accountable. It's not just a big position. Protection. So it makes this very concept makes leadership very difficult. Any sane person would not want to be a leader. Yeah. Okay. Any comments or questions? Yes.
Thank you for the class. also mentioned that the point is that it's what is needed, what is required is a
change of consciousness, yeah,
and not change of the body. However, first thing comes to my mind that actually many rules and regulations are about somehow change of the body, or at least externally. I'm sorry for giving such a vivid example, but just before the lecture, I needed to hurry to take a shower and then coming back from the shower, put a dhoti, put tilak, and that all takes time. And I'm thinking, this is rules and regulations. I'm following ritually since some time.
Yeah.
And I felt like, why don't I just go put some pants and go to the lecture quickly? Especially after the lecture, I need to put actually some pants and go. So, sorry, it's just an example, but there are many things like this.
Yeah. Rules are set standards. In human society, we are governed with rules. Forget about devotional service. Okay, you are driving on the streets in Germany here. Do you choose to drive any side of the street? No. There are rules. This is the side you have to drive. If you say, well, I'm coming from America, this is how we drive. I'm sorry, we are in Germany. So rules are meant for human beings, not for animals. A dog runs against the red light, they don't get a ticket. A human being runs against the red light, you get a ticket in the mail. So rules and regulations do not necessarily change your body. They're meant to change your consciousness, the way you think, the way you align with the system. So that also confirms with the purport. The rules and regulations are meant to change our consciousness. They're meant to change the way we think about things. And the rules and regulations are meant to leverage our consciousness, especially in devotional service. Just by coming to Mangarati, you're getting purified. It's rules and regulations. Hey, 4:30, I should be sleeping. So we drag ourselves to follow the rules, but that helps to leverage our consciousness because we get purified. It doesn't necessarily mean that we change our body. So yeah, it's in conformity with what Prabhupada said in the purport and what Vasudev also mentions, now Lord Vishnu also mentions in the main text. So the idea, it could be very disturbing for conditioned souls. I was saying the other day about this lady in Calcutta, the beautiful lady who went to Europe to study, a Bengali lady. And then she was lucky, she got a beautiful, very handsome, super guy, got married. And she said she'd been to our temple, near her village. But she got initiated by some sadhu, no rules. You can eat meat, you can have illicit sex, you can do anything you want, just that you are initiated. This is your new name. So that system makes spirituality really bogus. It's a cheating. It's a cheating. See, I tell you one thing, the things I saw in religious circles, even as a kid, made me to hate religion. In high school, most of the students, the final year in high school, they take religious studies. I did not take. I hated it. Because of the way I saw how people use religion, weaponize religions for sinful activities. Yes, so you want followers, then so no rules and regulations. So you can eat your meat, you can have illicit sex, you can do anything. But this is your new name. You are my disciple. What is that? So that is not the standard set by the Kumaras. It's not the standard set by the Acharyas. It's not the standard set by Rupa Sanatana Goswami. It's not the standard of the 6 Goswamis. And so whatever we're doing, if we don't follow the scriptures, then we are following our whimsy, the dictates of our mind and our sensory modalities. And this is the cause of all the problems on this planet. People following their whimsy. This is the cause of all the problems. Yes, any other comments or questions? We're stopping in 1 minute. Why are you looking at the time? Yes.
It's on, but it's just not loud enough. For the last
On the question of accountability, that leaders have accountability, how much is there also accountability for the individual?
For the followers. You mean for the followers? Yeah. The followers also are accountable. But, it's like you say, okay, if the parents have that type of high profile accountability, what about the children? The same thing goes. They are there to be guided, to be protected. You're taking up the position to do that. Good for you. So do your job. You can't blame your child. Sometimes people blame their children. Okay? You just a rascal, you know. But this is your part and parcels. You produced the child. You want a Paka child, you should have followed this standard required for a Paka child. So why are you blaming the child? The souls are all over the place, sarvagata. They are existing everywhere. At the time of mating is when a soul is invoked based on the consciousness of the parents. Based on the consciousness of the husband and wife at the time of mating. A particular soul of that level of consciousness is invoked into the womb during the seminal discharge. So, we can't blame the soul. We have to blame ourselves, our consciousness. We didn't prepare for it. And in most cases, people, see, I've seen one of these celebrities in America, he has like now 2 cases, okay? 2 guys, one boy is also in the music industry, producing his own music. He has sued this guy for years now. The case has been moving back and forth that he's his father. His mother said, this is the guy who impregnated me. I was just 16. So they're dealing with that. He refused to go for the DNA test. Okay, if you are so innocent, go give your DNA. Let the forensic guys check through. Why are you just defending yourself? He just refused. Now another girl has also come up to say, you are my father. These are billionaires. Okay, so whose responsibility? The fact that people are taking up that high-profile role to be role models of society, and they are not being accountable, that is animalistic life. People just want to enjoy and not being accountable. People want to do whatever they want to. You take up a leadership position, and then the members of the society, they are not members of your constituency are not protected. There are abuses all over the place, and these things they also happen in ISKCON. I remember some years back, we paid so millions of dollars for abuse of children. So, who is to blame? We have to take responsibility. We have to be blamed. We didn't guide our managers properly, and we let loose. So there's going to be some repercussions for whatever we do. It's just a matter of time. And so we guide against, parents must guide against this type of unpalatable consequences. Managers must guide against unpalatable consequences. Because some of the things that happen in the families, the children may just tolerate, because if they take it up, there will be catastrophe. Some of the things that even happen in our movement, some of the victims, they just tolerate, because if they escalate it, there will be catastrophe. And it's not that people are stupid. No, we are not stupid. So, responsibility, accountability is there. And now, see, in America, I know even judges, chief justices, they went to jail. People who send people to jail, they went to jail. Oh yeah. So accountability is always there. And if we are not ready for that, we should not take up a responsibility. We should not take up a position. We can't have children and then we point accusing fingers to our children. You are the cause of my problem. No. That soul is having particular characteristics. You invoke that soul, your consciousness invoke that soul, deal with it. So accountability is always there, either in the material world or in the spiritual world. And Prabhupada will use the word stringent. He said, the laws of nature are very stringent. In other words, you cannot maneuver. Yeah. So we have to stop here. If you have other questions, you can WhatsApp me, because I have to go and pack my stuff. Okay. Thank you very much, the management of Simhachalam and all the wonderful devotees of Simhachalam. I feel bad that I have to leave today, but this trip is very short. Maybe next time we can, stay longer. I'm going to Denmark for a conference. I'm going to Denmark today. I have a conference tomorrow to Sunday. Then I'll come back to Germany, and then go to Hungary, and then continue on the European tour until September, first week of September. Also, I'm going back to the United States. So thank you very much, everyone. And let me say one thing. I observe one thing here, which is very rare in most temples, even in India. That when you're the devotees in this temple, you don't play with your phones when you're doing japa. Very, very good. You're not playing with your phones when you're doing japa. Very good. You're not playing with your phones when you're Mangarati. Very good. I've seen, or even on the theaters, senior people checking their phone during Mangarati, checking their phone during japa. I've seen all of this. It's not being critical. This is called hermeneutics, lived experience. I've seen it. So I praise you. Keep up with this. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.